All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Dr. Stone, Season 2, Episode 4. All right,
Nikki the guard.
Nikki, yep, she is on her side. New companion, new, ally in this situation that has been recruited genuinely.
Yes.
Because she knows
nobody's needed.
That
Lillian's still alive and that the U.S. is around.
Exactly. Yeah. But she might even help go along with that plan, though.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep. Because there is still a recording of this singer who influenced her so much, and she wants to protect that.
Yep.
Okay.
And she could tell when they were lying, and then also when they were telling the truth.
Yeah.
And that Senku would actually be able to protect that.
Yeah.
And so, all right.
Okay.
We got her. So
now on to whatever's next.
Go one by one through the crew now.
Maybe.
That's why, the OP has Tsukasa's, members of the Empire basically all having those little moments in the past.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. Chrome, we love you.
Oh
Chrome.
my god.
You are such a wholesome good boy that you actually won over, in some ways, Tsukasa's respect.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? This guy, no carrot or stick is going to be something we can use here.
He had the stones to be like, drop me.
Let's save him.
Yeah. I almost think at some level, he's just dumb enough, though, to where he's like, you wouldn't I'm falling.
Oh shit, they actually dropped me.
They actually did.
Yeah. It's like, he's like, this is a shonen manga. You can't actually kill me. I'm named it.
I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna die.
and I'm really glad that the way that he didn't die wasn't because he fell into water and he's fine. Because no, water and concrete from that high up.
Yeah, he would just be
just
dead. Broken. Yeah.
But the idea that it's like, yes, we also have some, freakishly competent people in different ways.
Like monstrosities.
So yeah, Ukyo's like, all right, sure, I shoot an arrow that catches you, and that's kind of like, well, okay.
Whatever.
But then Tsukasa just being like, I also just pick up a tree, and chuck it at you or under you,
so you can fall onto it,
and get back to safety. Okay, all right.
I do think though, this is the kind of thing that would be a decent, weirdly enough, a decent recruitment strategy, though.
Yeah.
If Chrome wasn't as loyal to Senku, and it wouldn't be just a thing of where, oh no, I'm your prisoner, but you guys respect me, so Stockholm syndrome or something like that. No, no. If anything, the sheer respect you'd have to have for these people to be able to keep him alive after dropping him from a height like that to a Mufasa-style death, or every, Disney movie where a waterfall is the most terrifying thing ever. You know?
Yeah, don't tell me. We're about to go over a huge waterfall. Yep. Yeah, but...
So, okay, on the other side, though, steam engine, car...
Yep.
We're going to get the tank soon.
I love it. And the way that they brought it up, it's like, okay, fantastic, awesome, because, it makes sense, right? Senku knows how all of this stuff works. They have the wax, and it's like, wait, we're going to use wax? No, of course not. No. The wax is a mold, right?
It's brilliant.
Just, here we go.
Brilliant.
Right?
And now it's this clunky thing, yeah, absolutely. But from the tactical standpoint, they don't care about whether or not they'll know about this because they have their scout.
Right. The biggest problem that they had in the past was mobility, right? And that was, one, because of the whole scout thing, but two, because there's a
whole lot of shit they have to move.
Yeah, and you can't take it with you. Now, the water wheel, that's...
No, they're not taking that anywhere.
You're not taking that with you.
But you don't need that necessarily.
But they don't need that because they've been able to use it in order to make stuff that they can then take with them. And the idea of a roving band of science users... Oh my god. Get ready, Tsukasa, because...
And Tsukasa, you don't have a scout to give you this info, so even if spring comes, and you send a force of, 12 guys...
Yeah, even better.
You won't find them there.
Tsukasa moves out... Maybe Tsukasa moves out to finish this himself, right? And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, they're gone. They move in, and just get a bunch of the revival fluid or whatever.
Whatever.
You left your base. Great.
You idiot.
Right.
We left our base a long time ago. You just find a bunch of homes
Yep.
And stuff, and a water wheel, and you're like,
okay, well, maybe we wreck the water wheel, you know.
Sure, they trash the place, burn it, or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, they could be anywhere.
Right.
Information warfare.
Yep.
This is how they win. It's right there. So, okay. On the side, though, with the fact that they freaking out that Chrome could have said something, no one could have expected, though, the Ukyo twist.
But I like this because...
Yeah. Because there's two logical things we can deduce
there was an element that was making me kind of expect this because...
His super hearing.
His super hearing. Yeah. Okay, there are abilities that are a bit busted.
Yes.
Right?
Speed is the main one.
Speed is the main one, right? Just speed breaks everything. Right? Yep. And we saw a bit of that with the scout girl. What's her name? Mm-hmm. Just being able to avoid people. Homura. Yeah, that's right. But super hearing. Yeah, that's terrifying.
It leads into other abilities to where you almost are somewhat telepathic.
Right, or potentially even like clairvoyant if it's just like, oh yeah, I'm basically a bat. Yep. You know, I'm all right, yeah, you can't hide from me. And if they're doing some kind of information warfare thing, he will absolutely ruin your day.
Yep,
right?
Absolutely.
Like, and the idea that he hadn't already heard them talking about the thing, it's like, okay, yeah,
you're like, wait a minute.
That's a plot thing. It's the okay, we're whispering, right? But for the sake of making sure that the audience can hear and follow.
Why does the rain sound like Josuke? You know, it's that kind of thing. But in this, we might have already had the twist, the wool pulled over our eyes of like, you think he didn't hear any of that?
Right.
Why do you think... Why do you think this whole thing is still going on? Why do you think he didn't actually hit Chrome with the arrows?
Why do you think he chased you away from the spot where he found you?
Mm-hmm.
Because it explains a lot of questions.
Explains a lot.
Like if he's really a marksman, you know.
Yep.
The fact that you have someone who can generally be considered a sniper of sorts, right? That is attempting to take down people and failing
and keeps missing
has not really makes their rule of coolness just sort of start to plummet, right?
Yep.
No, he wasn't missing.
He was not missing at all.
He was not missing. That makes me very excited because it keeps his rule of cool up, but it also introduces something that, you know, I think I mentioned a bit earlier in the show when like Asagiri Gen was introduced and the stuff with Homura was brought up, but something that I wouldn't have expected to get from this show is that having a third party with mysterious motivations makes conflict so much more interesting. It's the Mexican standoff. It's the instead of just one combination, now it goes to 3 combinations, right? And you're like, how is this going to go?
So can I bring up the second logical thing that we can deduce from someone having super hearing? And this is the kind of thing that this show would absolutely do because people do this without super hearing just fine, just by being perceptive, is the fact that if you had super hearing, you would easily be able to tell when someone is lying. And let me bring this up here. There was a very key bit of info dropped about how Hyoga and Ukyo are the number 2 each, you know, both, you know, respectively, for Tsukasa.
But Tsukasa doesn't see them that way.
Tsukasa doesn't see them that way. The thing is that if Tsukasa was to lie to them, specifically about how they mean so much to him and they'll be important in this
general
new world,
charismatic bullshit.
Yep. He would probably join them specifically because it's the big group and he's a charismatic
I can
leader.
do well for myself here.
Yeah, exactly. But you would also be able to sniff out or hear out, if you will, all the bullshit.
Yep.
All of it.
Yeah.
So this guy probably heard everything from the phone call to everything, like all the way back then, and has been trying to separate Chrome, who he could obviously tell that he could reason with eventually. Because Magma, he was like, well, that guy's a dumb brute idiot. There's no way I can bring him in.
I might actually have to kill him.
I might actually have to, and that's what he said. He literally said, I would have had to kill. Oh my God, he was trying to hint at it to Chrome. Now the thing is Chrome smart enough? Because I think Chrome is smart. He is smart, but is he smart enough to have picked on the subtlety that Ukyo is dropping here?
I think Ukyo is specifically making sure not to drop anything like that because he
knows he's not that smart.
If you're really good at listening, you would then pick up at all the times when people say things that they really shouldn't. And I think he would be able to tell that just from looking at Chrome, he's like, yeah, I'd give you 20% security. You know, like as far as like things that you hear, like it's not good, good. I don't want to let you know anything about what I want or what I'm after, because it would very soon become known by other people.
Yeah, and at this point, there's potential that Tsukasa is slightly aware of this, because if they were found by the revival fluid, according to him, and he said he said that Chrome was alone there. The fact that he captured Chrome, I think, is something that'd be very logical. He would say, oh, since it was just the one, you didn't have to kill him then because it's just one person. You could obviously intimidate them into surrendering, and that's something that makes sense. However, I think that they probably have some really strict rules surrounding the revival fluid, and it's probably not a capture them. It might be a shoot on sight kind of thing.
Potentially.
But there's going to be like no evidence of any scuffle there, and yet there'd be all these arrows in other places.
Yeah.
And if anyone went and looked over there, they'd be like,
I'm sure
you better go and retrieve those arrows. That's
I'm
all
sure
saying.
he would retrieve his arrows.
All I'm saying.
It would just from this perspective,
they're invaluable.
Yeah, in
tools.
This stone world, they're like just
arrows
the fact that
more important than the bow.
Right. The fact that his arrow was able to actually catch Chrome, which granted, anime rules cool and physics and all that stuff, right? But that means that is a very well-made arrow. That is a very well-made arrow. That is not some slipshod like thing or whatever. That is good stuff.
That is the most advanced piece of technology that they probably have.
Yeah, probably.
Is the bow and the arrow right now.
Yep. So, yeah, you don't just leave those behind.
No, definitely not. Okay, what if, though, and go out with me on a limb on this, because I think they're going to do this more of the wholesome route.
Sure, okay.
But what if he's actually just gigantic giga-braining him, and this is actually trying to turn Chrome into an unwitting spy? If he thinks that Ukyo is on his side, he will tell him things that he really shouldn't.
No, that is very true. That is very true.
That would be
and Chrome,
gigantic.
Chrome has no idea what Ukyo is telling Tsukasa when he's not around.
Of course not. Of course not.
So I could definitely see that being a thing. And regardless of what Ukyo is after, even if he is not a big fan of Tsukasa,
right?
He could still totally be doing that. It's just a thing of this and this kind of thinking would be another reason why Tsukasa maybe would really trust him. It's the all right, so
divergent thinking.
Right, now give me the details, give me the goods. What do we have here? You know. And that again, if there's something like that where then Tsukasa knows that, yes, I trust you when you bring me the good shit, you know, and no one's around.
Right.
That might make it even easier for Ukyo to, you know, slip in a little misinformation here or there.
Yeah, the reason why I think there's a possibility that Ukyo is doing this the more sneaky route is primarily because it's the kind of it's the biggest twist I can think of off of this twist. However, if I think about this from the meta standpoint, that Asagiri Gen was probably the human lie detector, the charisma-based one.
Yeah.
Ukyo's thing, I'm guessing, that specifically, since they already gave away his backstory stuff as a submarine sonar operator, is that he is exactly the kind of person that would, I would say, be more comfortable keeping everything kind of to himself.
Sure.
Like he's not the kind of person that is a talker.
Right. He hasn't said much. You know, in the what little we've seen of him, he's kept quiet.
But he is a great listener. Which means that I don't see him being the subterfuge kind of person.
Let other people do stuff, and he'll observe.
Yeah, exactly. But that observation would probably end up with him over time realizing that if there is an alternative to the Tsukasa Empire,
right,
he'll catch those vibes. He would, yes, exactly. He would listen very intently to all the things that make that, you know, its own thing. Like he heard the excitement surrounding the colored fire. He probably immediately upon hearing that went, "You're really excited about that. That means, from your perspective, this is a game changer." But the way Tsukasa talks about Senku, there's probably way more that Senku is capable of. So why did you mention colored fire? It doesn't make sense, right? Like,
unless it's just that you're the nerd idiot kind of, you know.
Oh, right. But what if it's the thing of where, oh, you mentioning that actually just doesn't line up with what we know Senku is capable of. We saw katanas.
That's true.
Yoga came back and was like, they have katanas.
Yeah.
They have folded steel.
Right. That's
what the fuck?
That's a bit of a problem.
And so Chrome being the one that's like, I'm a science person and we have colored fire. He's probably like, you could have said that we have katanas.
Right.
And that would have done a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, that would have done a lot to make Tsukasa be like, yeah, and we're going to get that
we're
shit.
Aware
and then
of that,
once we have those, you guys will be done.
Oh, boy.
Who cares if you have a tank at that point? Tsukasa with a blade like that.
Yeah, he just
cut through the tank in half. And
oh, man.
But rending and carving the ground, you know.
One of the things I'm curious about, though, is that, okay, so the Kingdom of Science is at a gross disadvantage against the Tsukasa Empire, right? Just from
some ways,
in the traditional sense, right? They don't have
numbers.
Yeah, numbers, fighters, weapons, you know, all that stuff, right? Well, maybe not weapons.
Well, maybe not weapons
because katanas.
I would say the way the weapons are used, they absolutely have an advantage.
But they are very much sort of like the classic underdog in this setup here, right? And they have been getting a lot of wins. A lot of awesome wins. A lot of things that have been going right for them.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm kind of expecting something to go wrong. Because Ukyo deceiving Tsukasa like that's another big, very helpful thing where their plans could have fallen apart. It doesn't have to be from Ukyo. He doesn't have to be doing some double-blind trickery or anything like that.
Sure.
But I'm curious to see when Tsukasa's empire will make that strike, that movement, that whatever, that really just sends that chill down the spine of the Kingdom of Science of, oh yeah, that's right. We are up against, you know, people that are monsters in their own right, even if they don't have katanas.
I honestly think it's going to be a pretty big wash at this point.
Yeah.
I really feel like where they're setting this up thematically is that they're going to win over everyone's hearts of all of his lieutenants, and Tsukasa's going to consent defeat basically, or concede defeat basically, and then leave and adjust everything.
Gotcha.
Because I'm guessing that if you had 3 or 4 of Tsukasa's lieutenants, they would actually be able to take Tsukasa.
Yeah.
Like Tsukasa is probably capable of taking on every single person in the Kingdom of Science by himself without any issue.
Right.
But he's probably gathered so many wonderfully strong and powerful people that there would be this big moment of humanity kind of banded together where it's even the ones that you brought in as your weapons are now your worst enemy, Tsukasa, and they know everything about you.
Rules of the jungle, you know?
Yeah, exactly. No
still
king rules forever, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I definitely think that we could have a moment like that, but I think almost with this twist with Ukyo, it's basically just setting up that this is the domino effect.
Sure.
That one phone call might have already done its work.
Yeah.
And Ukyo has already been won over by it because it's still not about whether or not, you know, he's a fan of Lillian or whatever.
Sure.
It might just be he's like, wait, they have this much already? This is the alternative that's over there?
Because I could totally see it being something where Tsukasa wins people over, not just in the old world had problems with it, but also it would take so long to get back to that point anyways. We might as well get comfy here, especially since we'll be able to do pretty well for ourselves here.
Right. And he might just be like, no, in 3 years, Tsukasa, you will be obsolete.
Right.
That's how fast it's going to be.
Yeah, because...
Well, but that's also where he would be like, well, then Tsukasa is probably going to need to make his move in the next, 6 months or something. Which he is, probably.
Yeah.
That's why they're waiting for winter.
But you know...
they would have attacked by now.
But all things being equal, I think I might want to bet on a different team.
Yeah.
So.
This horse might be...
Yeah. You might have
capped a bit ahead up there, you know?
You might have a thoroughbred stallion, but they have a steam engine. So...
And they just got it that.
Yeah.
Now, I love that they had parts saved for things like this.
Recycling.
Yeah. Recycling, but also it's something where Senku is forward-thinking with his resources, and he maybe learned a bit from Chrome specifically, because Chrome was the one that stored up all those rocks and things like that.
Sure.
And he's like, yeah, that's good. But we need to make sure we have a storage spot that we can keep adding in our extra stuff there to be used on future, tech and stuff.
I also want to point out that since they have the beeswax, they don't need to get more of that. Probably because they can just reuse it. Like they used it to make the
heating reheating process, the melting it down and forming it back up. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, that might potentially be an issue, but I think it would work. But assuming because you can make candles, like you can recycle candles totally. But that means that the whole thing that they did here of casting stuff, they can do that plenty. Now, they disassembled the furnace and everything in order to be on the move and stuff, but there are so many possibilities. They are only limited by time and man-hours, basically. That's it.
Yeah.
So
the tank is soon. The tank is coming very soon.
Yep.
It's just going to be what kind of armor plating are you actually able to make.
Right.
Because brass is not strong, let me tell you. It's not strong at all.
No.
And you're not going to be able to use the iron furnace stuff either. That's going to be way too brittle, way too soft.
Yeah.
You're going to need to temper it with... well, you're going to have to do the steel thing again.
Exactly. Exactly.
Good luck with that. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.